a big bonus for that organization. I don't know if they're counting on it, but if they can do it, maybe that is the answer. But I still think you have to be looking for another quarterback here in this draft.
In this draft, which is a fascinating way to look at the situation here. And Graziano, let me talk to you here and bring you in on that thought. The Steelers pick at 24. Marcus brought up the idea that maybe they try and trade all the way up to get one of the 5 big quarterbacks in this draft. That feels unlikely considering their history. So what is more likely for the Steelers as they contemplate their future?
Well, I think they do feel like they have to get a quarterback in this draft, as Adam said. Do you take one at 24 and reach for a guy that might be more of a second or third round pick? That also feels unlikely because, as we've discussed with Pittsburgh, all their salary cap issues, all their roster construction issues, they're going to need some production out of their early round rookies this year if they're going to contend. So I think it's probably more likely they take someone who can help them this year, whether it's an offensive lineman at that spot, and then look for quarterback maybe in the second or third round if one of these second-tier guys is there for them. So they go into this draft knowing they have to address quarterback, but I don't think they're in a position where they can mortgage everything to trade up for one of the big guys or necessarily spend that 24th overall pick on a guy for whom it might be a reach.
That's fair. And so then, Marcus Spears, let me come to you on that thought. I'm here to tell you, and we do have Matt Miller. Excellent. We were having some technical difficulties getting our outstanding new draft insider, Matt Miller, with us. So I will actually aim this first question here at you, Matt, and welcome. Thanks for getting up here. If we all agree that the Steelers need to address their long-term quarterback situation, seems there's a minimum of 4 quarterbacks who will be on the board, we would expect, into rounds 2 and 3 that have a lot of NFL teams interested, in no particular order: Kyle Trask, Davis Mills, Kellen Mond, and Jamie Newman. Do you see one of those potentially as a fit for the Steelers sometime Friday, rounds 2 or 3?
Yeah, Greeny, thanks for having me on again today. I do think that Kyle Trask, the name you mentioned first, is an intriguing quarterback. Let's go back throughout the college football season. Kyle Trask was a Heisman candidate. He was one of the most productive quarterbacks in college football. We talk so much about Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney. Kyle Trask was the guy getting them the football, so the accuracy's there. All he needs is a clean pocket to operate from, as we're seeing here against teams like Alabama. He's battle-tested in the SEC. He's a player who split time as a high school quarterback, so we know that he's battled some adversity. He's overcome things. I'm a believer in Kyle Trask. Now, I think the big question for the Pittsburgh Steelers, does he make it to pick number 55 overall? Because they're not the only team that's looking at this tier 2 group saying, hey, we got to get one of those quarterbacks this year.
Well, quickly, because I have you here, do you expect one of those names I just mentioned to actually sneak in at the end of Thursday night, the back end of round 1, whether it's him? I have Mel Kiper telling me keep an eye on Davis Mills from Stanford, that some team sneaks in and takes him. Do you think we see a 6th quarterback at the end of round 1?
It would be a surprise, but I don't think any of us would fall out of our chairs if it happened because of the 5th-year contract option. So if it is Kyle Trask, who I know the New Orleans Saints, there have been rumors that the Saints like him a lot. The Steelers at pick number 24. Now, you'd probably want to trade back a little bit. But let's remember, Lamar Jackson was picked 32 after the Baltimore Ravens traded back into that round. That worked out pretty well for them. So it wouldn't, I don't think, be a shock. And another team to keep your eye on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady might play those 50. I don't know. But Tampa might want to start thinking about quarterback of the future. Kyle Trask would very, very much fit what Bruce Arians and Brian Leftwich are doing there at quarterback.
Marcus, your thoughts? Kyle Trask, maybe a late first-round pick.
I like it. I think I've thought about this and exactly what Matt is saying, and I want to put something else on that. Guys, Dan Mullen quarterbacks have had success in the NFL.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If you go back and look at the guys that he's coached, these guys have a great understanding of playing on this level. It's not a coincidence that Dak Prescott was taken in the 4th round, and when it was time for him to play, he was ready to play. I've seen the development. Alex Smith going all the way back. So I think Kyle Trask will have some cachet because of that fact. And then, too, playing at Florida, he had Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts. And, yeah, in some regards down the stretch of the season, he had some off games. But for the most part, Kyle Trask put together an elite season, like these guys that we've talked about being taken in the first 5 picks. It'll be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does, especially knowing that they need some offensive line help.
A reminder, he was a Heisman finalist, so he had that kind of season. Meanwhile, Matt, while I have you, let's do some comps for some of the other quarterbacks. Let's go to the top of the draft, or closer to it. Mac Jones, we expect him to go 3 at this point. Give me a best case and a worst case for him.
Yeah, Mac Jones, you watch his play in the pocket, the way that he's rooted there, the ability to throw the deep ball. Best case, Matt Ryan. I think we're probably going to see him connected with someone Matt Ryan had a lot of success with, Kyle Shanahan at the quarterback position. But Greeny, on the other side, there's a worst case, and that has to be discussed with these guys. Mitch Trubisky, like Mac Jones, a bit of a one-year wonder, 17 starts in college, and a player who maybe won't get better at the next level. Let's just keep going here with these because sorry, Greeny, I know you love these comps. Trey Lance, best case scenario, look at him move. I see some Dak Prescott here with a good, not great arm, the ability to play down the field, can hit the middle of the field, but also can keep plays alive. He moves to throw. He doesn't always move to run. Now, worst case scenario, Sam Darnold, who I'm sorry to bring this up today after he got traded yesterday, but Sam Darnold, a player who maybe the game needs to speed up for you a little bit. We want to see better accuracy to all levels of the field to play at the next level. And then Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields. He's my number 2 quarterback in this class. I've been on here talking him up. Justin Herbert, I think, is the best case. Someone who comes in who's been over-evaluated. We've got some prospect fatigue, but he's still a great quarterback. He can make all the throws, make all the plays. Put him in a good offensive system, he's going to blow up. Worst case, I want Carson Wentz here. We might see some turnovers in the NFL from Justin Fields. We've seen him hold the ball in the pocket too long, but I still think he's going to be tremendous when he gets there.
No, and if someone's going to say your worst case is a $100 million contract, things could be far worse than that. But I'll remind everyone, so this is McShay's latest mock draft. It came out last week, and again, there you see Justin Fields, the 5th of the 5 quarterbacks. So let me bring the guys back in here, Matt, and I will start with you because you make your living every single day in this draft stuff. Everyone comes on this show, everyone, and says what you just said, which is, well, I've got Justin Fields 2nd of all the quarterbacks, but I love Justin Fields, but Mel says that, McShay says that, every single one of you guys comes on and says that. So why is Justin Fields the 5th quarterback in a class in which everyone comes on the show and says he's the 2nd best player?
We're all trying to figure that out, Greeny. We really are. There's nothing to his game. When you talk about Justin Fields to scouts or to Mel Todd, he's a great arm, maybe the strongest arm of anyone in this class. Great athleticism, a great leader. Go back to over the summer, the Let Us Play, the Black Lives Matter movement. Justin Fields was leading that cause. It wasn't someone that made him do it. He said, hey, I want to play, even though at the time he was neck and neck with Trevor Lawrence as the top quarterback in the country. So I can't find a reason. The one thing that I have heard from people, they say, oh, it's not a pro-style quarterback. I don't even know what that means anymore when we have Sean McVay in Jared Goff's helmet until the clock runs down, telling him what the read is. So what is pro style when you're running RPOs? Justin Fields is running the same kind of offense, really, that Mac Jones is, that Trevor Lawrence is. So I think there's a lot of laziness. I think there's a lot of prospect fatigue because people have known who Justin Fields is for 4 to 5 years now.
Marcus, go.
Overthinking. Listen, this is Deshaun Watson 2017. Let's be honest. Like, to Matt's point, we overthinking everything. Watch the damn film. And look, here's the part that really makes me so angry about this. Justin Fields is in a tier with every other quarterback where we're saying potential, traits, all of these things that they need to improve upon to become great quarterbacks. I'm drafting that. I'm drafting Justin Fields, who ran 4.4, who went to Ohio State, left Georgia, went to Ohio State, had success, had his team in the national championship, played with crushed ribs, beat a Clemson team with the number 1 quarterback, who's the next greatest thing since sliced bread, that Jacksonville is going to take number 1. All of these things transpire right in front of our face. And we 3.5 weeks outside of the draft, and Justin Fields all of a sudden can't play damn quarterback. I don't understand it. I'm with Matt. It's over-evaluation. I think people are putting a lot of stock into what Ohio State quarterbacks have done before him. But we can go down a long list of schools that had good quarterbacks in college that didn't pan out in the NFL and eventually found them one. It is crazy to me. And I promise y'all this, as long as we're talking about this draft and as long as Justin Fields' names keep coming up, I'm going to go crazy every single time he's not mentioned as being a top 5 pick in this draft. He may not be. I may be wasting my breath, but I'm going to do it all over these damn ESPN airwaves.